Hey everybody, welcome back to the Son of the Morning Comics channel, and today we're going to be reviewing Giant-Sized Nightcrawler number 1. Now, I have to say I was looking forward to this book because I'm a Nightcrawler fan. I was definitely big into this sort of team when I was young. I was a big fan of the X-Men cartoon. From the early to mid 90s, I was a huge fan of the X-Men arcade game. So I love characters like Nightcrawler and Storm and Colossus, Wolverine. I really like those characters. So the one thing I'll say before we start is that this is definitely a very, very beautifully drawn and colored comic. Let's see. There, the color artist was Carlos Lopez, and the art was by Alan Davis. So, we gotta do the thing that we do with all of the X-Men type stories, at least the ones that are now under the direction of Jonathan Hickman. We gotta decide who is evil and who isn't. Now, excuse me. Now, Nightcrawler is on my good hero mutants list. I think he's done several things that have shown that he's one of the good guys, so we're happy about that. Now, to get our cast of characters in this comic, we have to go to the end, which is a little bit different than most of the other X-Men books we've seen lately. This book was called The Haunted Mansion, and the stars here are Nightcrawler, Magic, Cypher, Eye-Boy, and Lockheed. So, we'll get into it here. It's, like I said, very well drawn book. Now, the problem that they've discovered is that there appears to be something odd going on at the abandoned X Mansion in Westchester. They don't know exactly what's happening, so they send a team to check it out. The place is supposed to be deserted, and clearly the place is not deserted. Now, like I said, the art in here is really, really good. So they go through there, and immediately Eye Guy notices that even though the place is abandoned, he's sensing a lot of stuff. Nightcrawler says that they need to check it out. So they're gonna check out the Haunted Mansion. Okay, so once they're inside, like I said, he's starting to see that with his many eyes and many different ways of looking things, that he's sensing movement. It's not human, it's not mutant, but he's definitely sensing something. Then Lockheed loses his mind and starts like blowing fire and flying all over the place, kind of after they hear a sound, kind of sort of, giving up their location. Lockheed's going crazy. Eventually Nightcrawler does get a hold of him, wrangle him, but then sees this shadow of this figure that then quickly disappears. He asks if anybody else saw it. They didn't see it. So the mystery continues, and then something very strange happens, and they see Nightcrawler sees a missing mutant, I should say. Sees a missing mutant, and then he's asked, "Kurt, where are you going?" He says, "I don't understand. Where did she go? I could have sworn I saw Rachel." They ask, "Rachel?" and he says, "Yes, but she also looked wrong. She was a hound." And then the Eye Guy says, "You mean dressed in red leather, serious heels, spikes everywhere?" And then he says, "So you saw her too?" And then, yeah, he saw her too. So here she is, of course. Another really nice drawing, but she runs away from them. So Nightcrawler pursues. They chase her into what looks to be like some kind of organic tunnel. Now, they lose her for a little bit, but he does wrangle her. When he tries to talk to her, she's speaking in a language that nobody understands. It's almost like a binary computer type language. So obviously they're very concerned about her, and they're also very interested in their surroundings. So Cypher starts touching the side of the organic cave, and he makes a comment that it's almost like pulsing, that it feels like it's alive. And then he gets sucked into the wall, which is no good. And then Rachel takes off there, and Nightcrawler goes to pursue her as well. Now, once inside this wall, Cypher finds this power source here that he believes to be an alien power source. He's about to go and touch it when this spider-looking figure approaches him, and he gets a little scared. So we flipping back over here where they're still trying to catch up with Rachel. They find her. They finally get to her, and Nightcrawler says, "Okay, Rachel, time to tell us what's going on," where she says that she's trapped and she's sleepwalking. That she's in a dream, and this another really, really cool page. I really like the layout. She's basically saying, she's dreaming of traveling, migrating to other worlds, always moving, hunting. You see Cyclops, Storm, they're in her dream as well. So also that now she feels lost, left behind, alone, and she needs help. She's screaming for help, and as she's screaming for help, her face is distorting, and then she starts talking in the binary computer type language again, and explodes into a million of these little spider things that we just met with Cypher. Kurt says, "Oh no, they're Sidri," I suppose is how you're supposed to pronounce that. The others don't know what they are. It's a race of bounty hunters, and they're coming after the X-Men here. So one of the good things about Cypher being the one who went through the organic wall is his unique communication abilities, at which point he is able to communicate. He understands that these bounty hunter types are territorial, but he's able to hold them at bay. Now we go flip back to an excellent action shot here of our heroes fighting off the mini bounty hunters. Fantastic art. Nothing bad you could possibly say about that. Fighting them still, trying to figure out what's going on. They realize that, they may have to make a quick exit here. So one of them is going to have to go and find Cypher, and so she uses her powers to go and be the one to find him. Of course, when she does, she finds that everything is okay, and that the person who is there controlling everything is happy to see her, and he's happy to see his friend Ileana, and she is happy to see and surprised to see Warlock. And so they, he explains to her what's been going on and what's happening. Cypher talks to him, and then basically what happens is they tell all of these guys to stop because they're all sort of part of a communication, but what they end up finding is that they were guarding something, And what were they guarding? It appears to be a little cocoon here that was holding Lady Mastermind inside it. So she wants to know what has happened, and they just want her to take it easy. She's been through some stress. She tells them that she went to the only reason she came to the mansion was to use the portal, and then she doesn't remember everything after that. So they've cut a deal with this bounty hunter race, and basically they're allowed to use the portal, but that that's all that the mutants are allowed to access the old X mansion for. That it is now the new home of the bounty hunter little race here, and that's the story for that. So, in my quest to figure out who's evil out of these mutants, nobody showed themselves to be evil today. Already had Nightcrawler on the good list, so Nightcrawler stays on the good list. But for now, it looks like we can add iBoy, Lockheed, Magic, and Cypher to the good list. I'm happy to add them to the good list. It's nice to do. Also, I was just really happy to see a comic that is focused on Nightcrawler. He's a character that I really like. I definitely enjoyed this book. It is definitely a lot more enjoyable than the last giant size X-Men, which was the Jean Grey Emma Frost one, which was a picture book with no words, which I didn't really appreciate too much, but this one I really like quite a lot. So if you liked this video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. If you want to visit me, you can come over to Twitter at sonofthemorning7. Leave some comments there, leave some comments here. Have a nice day.